much to come into the room. I pray that everybody is doing well on today. You know what? I continue. The Bible says in Psalms 118 and 24, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will be glad and rejoice in it. I need you guys to get happy. Let's get excited because God is about to do some amazing things in our lives. And do me a favor, guys. Let's share this message. Let's invite somebody to be on. This is Winning Wednesday. As we look at what God is doing in this season, in our lives, in the lives of others, this is a moment that we need to rejoice. And when you look at it, that if he did it for somebody else, then he would do the same for us. And that's what makes me excited that, wait a minute, if sister such and such got it, if brother such and such got it, if he did it for them over there, if he did it for those over there, he'll do it for me. And that's why I know we are so close to our breakthrough. We're so close to our blessings. We're so close to God opening doors for us that this is why we're happy. I mean, if you can look out in your spiritual provisual and you say that, wait a minute, I can see it in my view. We wrote a song called Miracles Today. And when we wrote that song, one of the lines in the song and the lyrics, it says that I can see it in my view. And I want you now to start looking in your view to see what God is about to do for you. He is about to change some things around. Some things are turning in your favor. Somebody need to say it right now. Things are turning in my favor. Guys, I pray you're sharing this message. Come on. Let's get people on here because this is Winning Wednesday. And what is so important about Winning Wednesday? What is important about Winning Wednesday, what it does for me, it is just that midweek motivation to help get you on track, to help get you excited about what God is going to do. If you never expect, you would never receive. Y'all hear me closely. If you never expect, you would never receive. How can you expect for something to happen if you and able to receive it if you don't expect it? So every day I wake up, I'm saying, God, what you gonna do today? God, how are you going to change things today? How is this gonna look different from yesterday? So I want you now to start changing your mindset and saying that I am walking in expectancy. I am walking in favor. I am walking in knowing that God is going to do some magnificent things. This is the year of the supernatural. We came into 2021 and we started declaring this is the year of the supernatural. So then if you haven't believed it, if you haven't received it, I want you to start claiming it right now and start saying this is the year of the supernatural. And I know that what God is going to do, he's going to blow your mind. And guess what? God, blow my mind, turn things around, allow me to walk in the happiness and being happy than I've ever been in my life. Allow me to walk in a season of favor. Allow me to walk in a season of overflow. Lord, if you did it before, I know you'll do it again. And you'll get what you want if you start asking for it. The Bible tells us in Mark 11 and 24, it says, when you pray, you must believe. If you don't start believing that God would do it, why should he do it? I mean, I have children, and one of the things that they would do every year for Christmas, they would make their list and they would tell me what they would want for Christmas. And they would come down on Christmas morning with expectancy. Okay, I gave Dad a list of a bicycle, a computer, a cell phone. One year, my son asked for a car. And you know what I did? I brought him down a little remote control car, and I said, "This is your car for Christmas." Why? I mean, he got what he asked for, but he didn't get what he wanted. Sometimes our faith and believing what God would do is so small. And if we can elevate the faith, God will give us exceedingly, abundantly above all that we can ask or think, according to the power that worketh in you. So today, I never want you to sit back and allow your faith to be like how my son was. His faith that he put it out there, but he didn't truly believe it. Eventually, I got him the car, but he put it out there, but he really didn't believe he was going to get it. And I want you to understand today, whatever you put your beliefs in, I want your faith to match your beliefs. And I want you to tell God, Lord, I'm believing you for this new house. I'm believing you for this promotion. I'm believing you for this new business venture. Whatever it is, you start believing God for the bigger. And if you start believing God for the bigger, then as you start getting to that place, small things turn into bigger things. That's why the writer tells us in Nehemiah 8 and 10, it says, despise not the day of small beginnings. And if you start looking at where you're at and what you cannot have, then God said, well, if you don't believe it, I can't give it to you. So that's why the Bible tells us in the book of Mark, it says that when you pray, believe. So if you pray for it, now it's time to start believing that God is manifesting what he told you it will come to pass. And that's why on this Winning Wednesday, I want to encourage all of you that are out there that I want you to start believing for the supernatural. I want you to take in your heart and you say, God, I am believing you for whatever your belief is, and I want you to start making it big. I want you to say, you know what, God, I'm believing you for that building over there. I'm not believing you just for a house. I'm believing you for the whole building. And guess what? God will do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you can ask. Stop believing God for the small things. Expand your thought process, because why? You are a thought watcher. And that thought watcher is saying, God, you know what? I'm watching what I think the enemy tells me I can't have it, but you said I can have all things. When you read in the book of Philippians, the second chapter, and it says, fourth chapter, I'm sorry, it says that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So when you look at that, what God can do for you, he will give you exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ask. So then if you're believing God that you can have all things, the Bible tells us in the book of Philippians, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So then when you look at that, what God can do for you, he can give you more that you can ask, more that you can think, but all you have to do is be ready to receive it. And that's what brings me to my point today. Who told you you can't have it? Who told you that you can't be an overcomer? Who told you that you can't be healed? Who told you that you can't have what you believe in God for? And what the enemy's job is to take our mind off of what God said we could have. Because when you start walking in the supernatural, Peter got off the boat and he started walking on the water. And when you start believing God that, Lord, if you said it, that settles it. I can have for whatever I want. I can believe what you said. It will come to pass. And that's what I want you to do today. Who told you you couldn't have it? I mean, let's take somebody from the Bible. Let's look at Jacob. Jacob went through a lot in his life. Joseph went and he had to endure so much. Even Jacob wrestled with the angel. And he told him, he said, I won't let you go until you bless me. And it cost him something. The angel hit him in the thigh, and he was caused to walk with a limp for the rest of his life. But he held on to something that he believed. He didn't give up. And he said, no matter what is happening, I'm not going to let go until you bless me. And when you go through life, you got to be just like Jacob. You say, you know what, Jacob, I'm holding on. I'm not letting go. God, you said I can have it. I know things are coming up against me. I know doors are closing in my face, but Lord, you told me I can have it. And when you say that and you believe it, God will say that I am looking down at my son, my daughter's faith. And now I'm telling them that you can have whatever you want. And today I want you to ask God for that supernatural blessing. I want you to ask God, say, Lord, I'm walking in my season of overflow. And Lord, you told me whatever I say I can have it. Now let's take Joseph's life. Joseph was hated by his brothers. He was thrown off into a well. He was sold off into slavery. But everywhere he went, God caused him to prosper. And I'm telling you, in the midst of your darkest hour, in the midst of in your life right now, where you're thinking things are not going right, you're thinking that it can't get any worse. But everywhere you're at, God still calls you to be blessed. He's still causing you to prosper. Other people are in a worse situation than you are. But what God is showing you, he's saying that if I did it before, I would do it again. Joseph, his brothers hated him because God was using him. People in your life now, look at your corner. And I want you to evaluate the people that are around you. Everybody ain't happy because you're talking about God and you're talking about what God is going to do and you're talking about how God is going to bless you. They're looking at you like, who do you think you are? But then when you stand boldly on what God promised you and what God told you, then it shall come to pass. And I want you to say it with me today. It shall come to pass. Even though it don't seem like it, it shall come to pass. Somebody need to be putting that in the comment section right now. It shall come to pass. Who told you that you can't be healed? Wait a minute. The doctor said it or did God say it? When you put your faith and trust in God, now you're saying, God told me by his stripes I am healed. And when you start standing on his word, the Bible says he uphold the power of his word. So the power is in the word. When God spoke in the beginning, he said, and let there be. And he said, let there be. And he said, and there was. And he said, and it came to pass. And he said, and it manifested. In the beginning, everything, God spoke a word. Today, you need to start speaking life into everything that you're going through. You're saying, you know what? I'm sad. I'm not happy. Speak life to that and say, you know what, God, thank you for allowing me to be happy. You're going through in your body. You speak life to it and say, God, thank you for healing me. If you're going through financially, speak life to it and say, God, thank you for my finances. Because what you say out of your mouth, you're bringing it to pass. Watch this. The Bible tells us in Isaiah 55:10, it says, "Those shall the word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish where I sent it." Go back to the word shall. It says not maybe, not might, but it shall. And that's what you want to stand on today. On this Wednesday, I want you to say it with me. It shall come to pass. Who told you that you can't be rich? Who told you you can't drive that car? Who told you you can't live in that certain neighborhood? And if God said it, that settles it. It shall come to pass. And as you start standing on God's word, as you start standing on his promises, I'm telling you today, I just come by to lift you up, to encourage you that who told you that it cannot come to pass? It wasn't God. Because when you stand on what God says, it shall come to pass. The Bible tells us in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and it says that if you will hearken unto my voice and obey my commandments, what God is looking at, will you obey his word today? Will you obey what he said? Will you stand on the promises of God? And when you do these things, he said, if thou will hearken, mean, will you listen? God is trying to talk to each and every one of us today. And as you're listening to the voice of God, as you're listening to what he has told you, stand and you hold on what God has promised you. Jacob said, I won't let you go until you bless me. He stood because he heard something and he saw something. I want you to start seeing your future in today. I want you to say, I'm looking at today. I'm standing in today and I'm looking at my future. And my future looks better than where I'm at now. And when you start decreeing it, when you start speaking it, it starts coming into fruition. And that's what I want you to do today. Look at yourself in the future. Look at yourself and when you're saying God is going to do. Look at yourself and you're saying that God, this is what you promised me. And now you're seeing yourself in everything that you needed. You're seeing yourself in everything that you believe God for. You're seeing yourself in everything that you desire. I'm talking to somebody now. You're in the best relationship of your life because you're seeing it coming to pass. I'm talking to somebody who's already walking into their new house. You've already got the keys because you saw it and it came to pass. I'm talking to those out there who's daring to believe. And if you can dare to believe today, on this winning Wednesday, you're saying that you can have whatever you want. When you start hearing those negative voices come into your mind, who's telling you this? And you're saying today that God, I believe your word. I believe what you said to me, and I'm standing on your word. It shall come to pass. And when you say it, you start believing it. The more you say something, then you start seeing God bringing it to pass. I remember when I first got ordained into ministry, and my dad first called me into ministry. He said, God called me into ministry. And the first thing he said, that you are a minister. And it was years, guys, that I would sit there and I would be like, I'm not a minister. I would be embarrassed. I would be literally shamed to tell somebody I was a minister of the gospel. So I lived a double life. Outside of the church, I was who I was. Inside the church, I was minister. But I cringed at the thought of being a minister in the church. So don't call me minister. I didn't want you to relate to me as a minister. But the more I continue to say it, the more I continue to walk in it. One day I woke up and I said, hey, I am a minister. I am God's servant. I am the man of God. And the more you continue to say something, you're going to start walking into your promise. You can't see it today, but guess what? Tomorrow is coming. And as you see your tomorrow, everything that you didn't believe to happen today, but because you continue to say it, it's going to manifest in your tomorrow. And that's what I want to encourage each and every one of you today. On this Windy Wednesday, when you hear that negative voice and saying, who told you you couldn't have it? You start standing in with boldness. And you said, my God said I can have whatever I need. My God told me I can walk on water. My God told me that if I believe, I will walk over serpents and over scorpions and over all the power of the enemy in Luke 10 and 19. So then whatever you say today, it will come to pass. Guys, thank you for joining me on this Winning Wednesday. Thank you for being a part of what God is doing. Each week we come on here, I'm believing God that we continue to grow higher and higher, and we continue to lift each other up. We are helpers one of another. Somebody say it with me. Put it in the comment section. We are helpers one of another. Guys, I love you. God bless you. And make sure you join me this Saturday night for the Global Prayer Wall. I'm believing God that somebody's going to get set free. Somebody's going to get healed. Somebody's going to get delivered. Look at what I did. I said it first. And watch, we start walking into the obedience of what God is going to do. He's going to bring it to pass. Guys, I got to get out of here. Make sure you join me on this Saturday for the Global Prayer Wall, 8 p.m. I'm here every Wednesday at 8 a.m. as we continue to lift each other up, as we look at in our life on how we can win. And if you miss all of that, guys, I'm back here every Sunday morning for a word from the Lord. I'm in this series talking about one word. I pray you've been watching for the last couple of weeks. It's been a powerful sermon, and I can't wait till you hear the conclusion of the one word series this Sunday. It's going to bless you. It's going to bless you. It's going to bless you. Guys, I got to get out of here. I can't wait to see you this Saturday night for the Global Prayer Wall. God bless you. God keep you. And if I haven't told you lately, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.